everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral Sam's Club imitation crab and onion boil, so let's get started with the video. We're going to begin by making the sauce. In a small bowl, add 1 teaspoon of Old Bay, 1 teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, 1 teaspoon of lemon pepper, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and 1 teaspoon of parsley. Mix everything together until well combined and then set your seasoning mixture to the side. Next, in a pot over medium heat, add 2 sticks of butter. Once the butter is melted, add a half a cup of chicken broth or water. Then mix everything together until well combined. Next, add your seasoning mixture, 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar, and the juice from 1 lemon. Next, mix in 1 to 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, Once everything is mixed together, let the sauce simmer for about 5 minutes, then set it to the side until you're ready to use it. Next, prepare 2 onions. First, cut off the stem and root of the onion. Then peel off the thin outer layer. Next, cut and hollow out a small hole in the onion. Then add butter inside the onion where you made the hole. When you're finished, place the onion on a baking sheet lined with tin foil. Next, pour the sauce you made on the onion. Once you've added the sauce, season your onion. You can use whatever seasonings you'd like. I used Old Bay, lemon pepper, and paprika. When you're finished, wrap the onion in the tin foil. Repeat that same process for the second onion. Then place the onions in the oven at 375 degrees for 45 minutes to an hour. While the onions are cooking, boil some eggs for around 10 to 15 minutes. Then boil some corn for 4 to 5 minutes. Once your eggs and corn have finished cooking, set them to the side. Now we're going to prepare the imitation crab. In a pan over medium heat, add 3 large spoonfuls of the butter sauce. Then place the imitation crab into the pan. Coat the crabs in the sauce and then let them cook for about 5 minutes. The reason we're only cooking them for about 5 minutes is because you don't want to cook the crabs for too long or else they'll fall apart, so we're just cooking them long enough to heat them up. Once the crabs have finished cooking, place them on a plate. Then pour the remaining sauce in the pan on the crabs. The onions should be finished cooking by now, so go ahead and take them out of the oven and unwrap them from the tin foil. Next, take the onions out of the tin foil and place them on the plate. Then pour the remaining sauce from the tin foil onto the onions. Now place the corn and eggs you prepared before onto the plate as well. Then pour some more butter sauce on everything. Next, sprinkle some parsley on top and you are all finished. And this is the finished result. It looks so good, everything came out great, and it was delicious. This was also super easy to make, so I definitely recommend giving it a try. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral Dubai chocolate bar and the Dubai chocolate covered strawberries, so let's get started with the video. I'll put the link for everything I used in this video down in the description. First, get your chocolate mold. I suggest getting a silicone mold like this one because it's going to be easier to take the chocolate bar out when you're finished. Next, we're going to customize the chocolate bar. If you don't want to decorate your chocolate bar, you can go ahead and skip this step. To customize my chocolate bar, I use these edible gold leaves. Once I took it out of the packaging, I took one of the leaves and just placed pieces of it inside the mold. When you're finished, set the mold to the side. Next, in a bowl, add some white chocolate melts. Then add some coconut oil. Next, place the bowl in the microwave for 30 seconds. Then mix everything together. you're finished, place the bowl back in the microwave for 15 more seconds. Then mix everything together until smooth. Once the chocolate is completely melted, add the food coloring of your choice. I'm using yellow. Then mix everything together until well combined. When you're finished, you can repeat this process to make a second batch with a different color. I chose green. Now with a small spoon, lightly flick the chocolate over the mold, making a splash pattern. You can also drizzle the chocolate in the mold. When you're finished, place the mold in the fridge to set. While the mold is in the fridge, we're going to melt the milk chocolate for the chocolate bar. In a bowl, add the milk chocolate and 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. Then place the bowl in the microwave for 30 seconds. Then mix everything together and place the bowl in the microwave for 15 seconds. Give the chocolate another good mix and then place it in the microwave for 15 more seconds. By this point, the chocolate should be almost melted, so you can just continue to mix it until it is completely melted and smooth. Next, take your mold out of the fridge and pour the milk chocolate into the mold. Now move the mold around so the chocolate completely coats the inside of the mold. Then pour the excess chocolate out of the mold. Lightly tap the mold to make sure everything is even and then place it in the fridge to set. Once the chocolate has set, take it out of the fridge and add more melted chocolate on the sides. When you're finished, place the mold back in the fridge to set again. Now we're going to make the pistachio filling for the chocolate bar. First, we're going to toast the dried kadaifi. In a large pan over medium heat, add 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. Once the butter has melted, pour the kadaifi into the pan. Then toast it until golden brown. When you're finished, pour the kadaifi into a bowl. Then let it cool. Once the kadaifi has cooled completely, add 1 cup of pistachio cream. Then add 2 to 3 tablespoons of tahini. Then mix everything together until well combined. When you're finished, take your mold out of the fridge, then add the pistachio mixture into the mold and smooth it over evenly with a spatula. After adding the pistachio mixture, pour the remaining melted chocolate on top. Use a spoon to spread the chocolate evenly. When you're finished, place the mold back in the fridge to set one more time. Once your chocolate bar has completely set, take it out of the fridge and remove it from the mold. After removing the chocolate bar from the mold, I did add a few more specks of the gold leaf I used before on top, because you could barely see the gold I added before, so I just added a bit more on top to make it more visible. And that's it, you're all finished making the Dubai chocolate bar. Now we're going to make the Dubai chocolate covered strawberries. First, slice some strawberries in half. Then get a cup and add some of the pistachio mixture into the cup. Next, add your sliced strawberries. Then pour some melted chocolate and pistachio cream on top. Then repeat this process one more time or until you filled the cup up to the top. When you're finished, sprinkle some crushed pistachios on top. And that's it, you're all done. And this is the finished result. Everyone, the hype is totally real. This chocolate bar is so incredibly good. That crunchy pistachio filling is delicious. And the chocolate bar ended up looking so pretty, which I'm super happy about. The chocolate covered strawberries were delicious too. 10 out of 10 would absolutely recommend. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today we're going to be trying the viral TikTok Birria Bombs, so let's get started with the video. This is the viral Birria Bomb. It's supposed to have all the seasonings needed for birria, and it makes making birria way easier. With this, all you have to do is sear the meat, add the water, and then drop the bomb in and let your birria cook in the Instant Pot or slow cooker. Super easy, right? Well, today we'll be testing out if they're just as good as the ones made from scratch. We're going to begin by preparing our ingredients. First, dice 2 onions. One diced onion will be used for the broth, and the other will be used for the tacos. Next, chop up some cilantro. When you're finished, set your onions and cilantro to the side. Next, cut 3 to 4 pounds of chuck roast into pieces. When you're finished, set your Instant Pot to saute. Then add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in the pot. Once the pot is hot, sear the meat for 1 to 2 minutes on each side. Make sure to sear your pieces of chuck roast in batches so you don't overcrowd the pot. Once you finish searing the meat, take it out of the pot and repeat this process with the rest of the chuck roast. When you finish searing, turn off the heat and place the chuck roast back in the pot. Then add 1 diced onion and 1 to 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. By the way, you don't have to add the onions and garlic, that's totally optional. I just added it for a little extra flavor. Next, add 4 cups of water. Now add 1 Birria Bomb. Next, close the lid and set your Instant Pot to meat stew. Once the birria has finished cooking, unseal the vent and wait until all the steam has been released. Then remove the lid. Alright, when I open this up, it smelled just like when I make birria from scratch, so we're off to a really good start. Next, take the chuck roast out of the pot and place it on a cutting board. Then remove the fat from the broth. After removing the fat, I tasted the broth and it tasted really good. Alright, moving on. Now shred the pieces of chuck roast. When you're finished, all you have to do is make your tacos. Dip your tortilla in the fat from the broth and place it in a pan over medium heat. Make sure both sides of your tortilla are coated in the fat. Then cook the tortilla for a bit on each side. Next, add shredded mozzarella cheese, some of the shredded beef, and some onions and cilantro. Then fold the tortilla and cook the taco until it's crispy on each side. Repeat this process until you've made as many tacos as you want. When you're finished, go ahead and plate everything up. And this is the finished result. These tacos were so good. The Birria Bombs totally work. They're super easy and convenient and save a lot of time. Not only that, but they taste just as good as birria made from scratch. I highly recommend these. I'll have the link to the ones I used in the description below. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral TikTok strawberry crunch cookies, so let's get started with the video. We're going to begin by making the strawberry crunch topping. In a food processor, add 24 golden Oreos. Then blend the Oreos until they become crumbs. When you're finished, pour the Oreo crumbs in a bowl. Then add 3 ounces of strawberry jello powder and 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Next, mix everything together until well combined. When you finish mixing everything together, it should look like this. Once you finish making the strawberry crunch topping, set it to the side. Now we're going to make the cream cheese frosting. In a bowl, add 8 ounces of room temperature cream cheese and a half a cup of room temperature unsalted butter. Then beat the cream cheese and butter together until smooth. Make sure to scrape the sides when you're finished. Next, add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and then gradually add 3 cups of powdered sugar. Continue to beat the frosting until the sugar is well combined and the frosting is light and fluffy. Once you're finished making the frosting, place it in the fridge until you're ready to use it. Now we're going to make the cookies. In a bowl, add 1 box of strawberry cake mix. Then add 2 eggs, and 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. Then mix everything together until well combined. Once you finish making the cookie dough, use an ice cream scooper to scoop out the dough and place it on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Then, bake the cookies in the oven at 350 degrees for 10 to 11 minutes. Once the cookies have finished baking in the oven, place them on a wire rack to cool completely. Once they have cooled completely, pipe the cream cheese frosting on top of the cookies. Then sprinkle the strawberry crunch topping on each cookie. Finally, add some sliced strawberries on top of each cookie. And that's it, you are all finished making the strawberry crunch cookies. And here's the finished result. These cookies were so good, they look amazing, and they were easy to make. They also look like the cookies from Crumble Cookie, which is super cool. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral TikTok spaghetti squash, so let's get started with the video. We're going to begin by preparing our ingredients. First, dice half an onion. Next, cut 1 cup of cherry tomatoes in half. When you're finished, set the cherry tomatoes and diced onions to the side until you're ready to use them. Next, cut 1 spaghetti squash in half. Once you have cut the spaghetti squash in half, use a large spoon to scoop out the seeds. When you're finished, place the spaghetti squash on a baking sheet lined with tinfoil. Next, brush olive oil on both halves of the squash. Now season the squash with your favorite seasonings. I used seasoned salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. Next, flip each half of the squash over and then use a fork to poke holes into the squash. When you're finished, place the squash in the oven at 400 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes. While the squash is in the oven, we're going to make the sauce. In a pan over medium heat, add olive oil. Then place 1 pound of ground turkey in the pan. Next, break up the ground turkey and season it. The seasonings I used were seasoned salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and Creole seasoning. Once you have finished seasoning the ground turkey, continue to cook it until it has browned. Once the ground turkey has finished cooking, remove it from the pan and set it to the side. Then, if needed, add a bit more olive oil in the pan and then add your diced onions. Sauté the onions for about 3 minutes. Then add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and the sliced cherry tomatoes. Then sauté everything together for about 1 to 2 minutes. Once you finish sautéing your veggies, add 5.3 ounces of Boursin garlic and herb cheese and 2 cups of heavy cream. Next, break the cheese apart, then mix it in with the heavy cream until the cheese has completely melted. Once the cheese is melted and everything is mixed together, add a 1/4 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. Then add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of Creole seasoning, a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, and a 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. After mixing in the seasonings, add 2 to 3 handfuls of spinach. Next, add the turkey meat back into the pan and mix everything together until well combined. When you're finished, set your sauce to the side. By now the spaghetti squash should be finished cooking, so we can move on to the next step. First, flip each half of the spaghetti squash over. Then use a fork to scrape the inside of the squash, creating spaghetti-like strands. Next, pour a few scoops of the sauce into each half of the squash. Once you've added the sauce, mix everything together. Then add shredded mozzarella cheese on top. When you're finished, place the spaghetti squash back in the oven at 400 degrees for 5 minutes. Then cook under the broiler for 3 to 5 minutes or until the top has browned. Once the squash has finished baking, take it out of the oven and sprinkle some parsley on top. And that's it, you're all finished making the viral spaghetti squash. And this is the finished result. This spaghetti squash is absolutely delicious. I completely understand why it went viral. It's healthy, full of flavor, and super easy to make. So if you're looking for a super easy, low-carb meal, then this recipe is perfect for you. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral TikTok Cesaroni Sandwich, so let's get started with the video. We're going to begin by preparing our ingredients. First, clean 1 romaine lettuce heart with water and then chop it up. When you're finished, thoroughly clean the lettuce with water again and then set it to the side. Next, pour croutons into a Ziploc bag and then crush the croutons. When you're finished, set the crushed croutons to the side. Next, place an artisan roll on a baking sheet lined with tinfoil. Then spread pizza sauce on each half of the artisan roll. Next, add shredded Parmesan cheese to each half. Then add shredded mozzarella cheese. Now add slices of pepperoni to the bottom half of the roll. Then sprinkle Parmesan cheese on top of the pepperoni. When you're finished, place the sandwich into the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes or until the cheese has melted. While the sandwich is in the oven, we're going to make the Caesar salad. In a large bowl, add the shredded lettuce you prepared before. Then add some Caesar dressing, the crushed croutons we prepared before, and a half a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. Then mix everything together until well combined. When you're finished, set your Caesar salad to the side. Once the sandwich has finished baking in the oven, take it out. Then add the Caesar salad on the bottom half of the sandwich. Now all you have to do is place the other half on top and you are all finished. And this is the finished result. This recipe is super quick and easy to make, and the sandwich is delicious. I definitely recommend giving it a try. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral TikTok Strawberry Crunch Tres Leche cake. So let's get started with the video. Begin by pouring strawberry cake mix in a large bowl. Then add 1 cup of milk, 3 eggs, and 2/3 cup of vegetable oil. Then with an electric mixer, beat everything together on low speed for 30 seconds. Then beat the cake mix at medium speed for 2 minutes. When you're finished, set the cake batter to the side. Next, grease a 9x13 baking dish. Then pour the cake batter into the baking dish. Now use a spatula to evenly spread the batter throughout the baking dish. Next, bake the cake at 350 degrees for 23 to 28 minutes, or until you can insert a toothpick into the center of the cake and it comes out clean. Place the cake on a wire rack to cool for at least 30 minutes to an hour. While the cake is cooling, we're going to make the milk mixture. In a large measuring cup or bowl, add 1 12-ounce can of evaporated milk, 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, and 1 cup of strawberry milk. Then mix everything together until well combined. When you're finished, set your milk mixture to the side. Once the cake is cooled, cut the edges off of the cake. Next, poke holes into the cake with a fork. Next, slowly pour the milk mixture over the top of the cake, making sure to pour near the edges as well. When you're finished, cover the baking dish in plastic wrap and then place the cake in the fridge for about 4 hours or overnight. While the cake is chilling in the fridge, we're going to make the strawberry crunch topping. Start by placing 24 golden Oreos in a food processor. Then blend the Oreos until they become crumbs. When you're finished, pour the Oreo crumbs in a bowl. Then add 3 ounces of strawberry jello powder and 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Next, mix everything together until well combined. When you're finished mixing everything together, it should look like this. Once you're finished making the strawberry crunch topping, set it to the side. Now we're going to make the whipped cream. In a large bowl, add 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar, and a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then, with an electric mixer, beat the mixture until stiff peaks form. Once you have finished making the whipped cream and your cake has finished chilling in the fridge, you can go ahead and start assembling the cake. First, remove the plastic wrap. Then add the whipped cream on top of the cake. Evenly spread the whipped cream all over the cake. When you're finished, add the strawberry crunch on top. Next, decorate the cake however you like. I decorated the cake by piping dollops of whipped cream on top. Then I added sliced strawberries on top of the whipped cream. Oh, and by the way, I also dipped the strawberries in strawberry glaze before slicing them and placing them on top. Once you finish decorating the cake, you are all done. And this is the finished result. The cake looks so pretty and it tastes really good too! The strawberry crunch is pretty sweet, but it tastes so good with the cake. The cake itself is absolutely delicious. If you love strawberries like I do, you will absolutely love this dessert. It's also a pretty simple and easy recipe too. I'm like super proud of this cake and I really recommend trying this recipe. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral caramelized onion pasta, so let's get started with the video. Begin by cutting 2 onions into thin slices. When you're finished, set the onions to the side until you're ready to use them. Next, in a large pot filled with water, add salt. Bring the water to a boil and then add your pasta noodles. I added thin spaghetti noodles. Cook the pasta for however long it says to on the box. While the pasta noodles are cooking, we're going to make the sauce. In a large pan over low heat, add 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Once the butter has completely melted, add the onions you prepared before. Proceed to caramelize the onions by cooking them at low heat and stirring them occasionally for about 30 to 40 minutes. You'll know the onions are caramelized when they're soft, brown, and jammy. Once you finish caramelizing the onions, add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and 2 tablespoons of chili crisp oil. Then mix everything together and let everything cook for another minute. Next, add 2 cups of heavy cream. Then mix everything together until well combined, and then let your sauce simmer until it becomes thick. Once the sauce starts to thicken, mix in a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Then add a half a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Once you finish making the sauce, turn off the heat and add your pasta noodles. Mix the noodles into the sauce until they are completely coated and you are all finished. Now all you have to do is plate it up. To garnish my pasta, I added some chili crisp on top. Then I added some Parmesan cheese and parsley on top as well. And this is the finished result. This pasta was seriously so delicious. The caramelized onions and chili crisp gave it a really good flavor. It's also super creamy and didn't need a lot of seasonings. And once again, it's super easy to make. I completely understand why this pasta went viral. It is so good. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral TikTok crookie, so let's get started with the video. Cut open a few croissants and place them on a baking sheet lined with tinfoil. I'm using the croissants from Costco, which are really big, so I decided to only use 4 croissants. Once you finish preparing the croissants, take some cookie dough and flatten and shape it into the size of the croissant. Then place the piece of cookie dough inside the croissant. Next, close the croissant and then place another piece of cookie dough on top of the croissant. Repeat this process with the rest of your croissants. Then place your croissants in the oven at 350 degrees for 18 minutes. Once the cookies have finished baking in the oven, place them on a wire rack to cool. And that's it, you're all done. And here's the finished result. If you like cookies and croissants, this recipe will be perfect for you. It's a really quick and easy treat. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the TikTok viral cucumber salad, so let's get started with the video. Begin by slicing up one cucumber. Then cut half an onion into thin slices. Next, chop up some smoked salmon. In a large bowl, add the sliced cucumbers and onions. Then add the chopped smoked salmon. Next, add 2 to 3 spoonfuls of whipped cream cheese, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of dill, 1 tablespoon of everything but the bagel seasoning, a half a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of pepper. Then mix everything together until well combined. I almost forgot, but don't forget to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of capers. Once everything is mixed together, you're all done. Now all that's left to do is plate it up. And this is the finished result. This recipe is healthy, delicious, and super easy to make. The recipe was created by a TikTok creator named Logan. I'll have a link to the recipe down in the description below. He also has different cucumber salad recipes, so you should definitely go check him out. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral TikTok Turkish pasta, so let's get started with the video. We're going to begin by preparing our ingredients. First, roughly chop some Italian parsley. Next, dice half an onion. Then slice a cup of cherry tomatoes in half. And finally, mince 3 to 4 cloves of garlic. When you're finished preparing your ingredients, set them to the side. Now we're going to make the yogurt sauce. In a bowl, add 1.5 cups of plain Greek yogurt. Next, add the juice from half a lemon, the minced garlic we prepared before, and a half a teaspoon of salt. Then mix everything together until well combined. When you're finished making the yogurt sauce, set it to the side. Next, we're going to cook the noodles. In a pot filled with water, add salt. Then bring the water to a boil and add bow tie pasta. Cook the pasta for however long it says to on the box. While the pasta is cooking, we're going to cook the beef. In a large pan over medium heat, add 1 pound of ground beef. Then break up the beef. When you're finished, season the beef with seasoned salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, a bit of curry powder, and paprika. After you finish seasoning the beef, continue to cook it for a few minutes or until it's almost cooked through. Then add your diced onions. After adding the onions, continue to cook the beef until it is crispy. Once the beef is cooked and crispy, take it off the heat and set it to the side. Next, we're going to make the butter sauce. In a small pan over medium heat, add 4 tablespoons of butter. Once the butter has melted, add 1 tablespoon of paprika. Then mix everything together until well combined. Now that everything is prepared, we can go ahead and assemble our pasta. In a bowl, add the bow tie pasta, then add the yogurt sauce, the ground beef, the sliced cherry tomatoes, the chopped parsley, and finally pour the butter sauce on top. And that's it, you're all done. And this is the finished result. This recipe is easy and healthy. I'll have a link to the original TikTok recipe down in the description. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!